if you're struggling with situationships and you're not knowing how to get out of them, then this video is for you.
Gosh.
We're going to talk about why does your intuition may be off, how you can actually go about dealing with that, and the challenges of having a misaligned intuition. Hi.
Hello. I'm
Hello.
Tiffany. This is David, y'all. We're from Sex.Prayers, helping you cultivate more conscious intimacy so your sex life is magical and delicious and divine. But today we're not talking about something as divine in its own
Divine
right.
in its own way.
Situationships.
What's your definition of a situationship?
A relationship with somebody, person, place, thing, entity, experience, etc. That leaves me feeling like I'm in more of a situation than a harmonious experience.
Okay. So
Like,
it's
I really need to take a moment to think. It's like, is this actually serving me, or is this just
Okay.
creating disharmony, dysfunction?
So you've dropped into like a pseudo relationship, but one that's not really going in that direction. It's like it's
Well,
satisfying,
it's a relationship, as in I'm relating to it. I'm relating to that person,
but it's not going anywhere.
but it's not progressive. It's not progressing.
It's a non-progressive.
It's a non-progressive relationship. It's a relationship that stunts, in my personal opinion.
Okay. Why? Why do people do this? Why do you do this? Why do you keep doing this? I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
It's because, based on the research that I've been doing and understanding, is because there's a part of us that desires the relational aspect, the needs being met.
We want connection.
Connection, there it is.
Right? We want connection.
But it's not in alignment with what we truly desire.
Our core desires and our values.
Right.
How often do we kind of skim over some of those yellow or red flags because we're feeling lonely, or because
Right.
this could be fun, or whatever excuse we tell ourselves about why this could be an okay option, or that it's okay, I'll get over it. And then 9 months later, we're like,
Exactly.
wow, I haven't gotten over it, and now I feel like I can't get out of it.
And
That's
we
a situationship.
we keep going in, we keep going out. This is working, it's not working.
We go in and out, I think, because there's a part of us that enjoys that experience, right? It could be the sex, it could be the emotional depth, it could be the support, whatever the reason is that
Right.
keeps us invested. And at that point, we've already invested some part of our energy into it. And so I think as humans and as our brains work, we do want things to work. Our brain is constantly trying to figure out, how could this work? How could this be successful?
Right.
Yet we have to tune in, is like, to what expense are we sacrificing our own needs and desires, the true needs and desires that we have in relationship to another person, in an effort to try to make something work that, after a repeated certain amount of time, months, years, whatever, just really isn't doing it.
Well, I feel like this is the value of getting intuition on board and true, you know.
Being able to identify with your true intuition.
Right.
Yeah.
Not just the unconscious stories that are fueling you towards a situationship or towards something that really isn't supporting or encouraging or nurturing or nourishing, but is satisfying a very small part, or satisfying a very unconscious story that is coming from a place of hurt and separation rather than a place of love and expansion.
And what if that can be rooted in scarcity, right? Feeling like I might not ever get another sexual partner like this, or I might not ever get the emotional depth that I'm getting out of this partner. And so there's a fear there, and there's a scarcity, and there's also this inevitable energy of loss. Like, experiencing loss never really feels fun. There's a lot of grief that comes with that process. And so I wonder, in the situationships, like, how many of the people that you've been speaking to, for instance, have a little bit of that undertone of fear that's like, I have the one thing, and yeah, I want these other things,
Right.
but like, if I choose what it is that I really value, I have some core belief that I'm not going to get this particular
Right.
part,
Yes.
which is not true, y'all. It's so not true.
Well, that comes from like the tantric teachings, this sense of forgetting that you're actually already perfectly whole, and that
Yeah. That dick's not that good when it comes with all this extra baggage. Just to put that out there. Just to put that out there.
That's part
Same with yoni.
That's the tantric teaching, word for word, actually. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Tantra Illuminated says the dick is not that good with that much baggage.
Harish would say nothing so
Bold.
vulgar.
That's why I said it.
It is this idea of the flip of perspective of seeking a relationship because it gets to be an expression of a part of yourself and an expansion into a part of yourself, rather than this need for something external to complete. It's like, no, you're already perfectly whole. You're already a wonderful human being with all of this goodness in you. You don't need that thing to fulfill you.
I wonder how many better decisions we would make if we actually embodied that truth.
Yes.
Right? The standard would be so concrete within us of what our sexual desires are, what we want in reciprocity out of how we relate to other people. And I feel like, wow, standing up for ourselves and our boundaries would be so much easier if we really did instill that belief into our lifestyle, into our way of thinking and feeling about ourselves and other people.
This is why it's pillar 1 and module 1 in Pillars to Partnership program. This sense of, no, if you can really align to the truth of who you are and what you desire, then your actions are in integrity. And then
that's the biggest piece.
Right. And then when you meet someone, you get to consciously go, this person doesn't satisfy what it is that I'm looking for. And even though, yes, I get to fulfill this short-term desire of intimacy and feeling connected with someone, it's not with someone that is actually going to fulfill the needs that I want. So I'm going to choose to not do that.
Yeah, or shift the relationship, right? So doesn't mean that you can't be friends. It doesn't mean that your relationship can't grow and evolve. It just means that a romantic sexual partnership might not be the best for both parties.
Yeah, and it's a conscious choice.
And a responsible choice.
Yes, I like that, a responsible choice. Because is it really worth having 2 months of sex and not feeling lonely to then have the challenge of trying to untangle from a situationship and start again and go through the pain of someone saying they want you but not really wanting you, or saying that they'll satisfy this need but not really? Is it worth it? Is it?
I don't think so. I've been in situationships and they've been worth the personal growth that I've gained from them, and I needed to go through those experiences in order to become more firm and aware of what my boundaries were and also what my desires were. So situationships, I feel like they kind of come twofold, because they definitely point out what you don't want, and that clarity is also incredibly important, to know what you don't want and to refine. It's like, okay, well, what is it going to take for me to become solid in my desires so that I actually take a stand for them? Because for me, when I look at my situationships in my life, these are all moments where I have betrayed myself. Cold hard truth, I betrayed myself in the honesty of what it was that I wanted, and I settled for less. And I was trying to convince myself why that was okay. So I had to go through that in order to become very clear on what my desires were in partnership.
And I challenge that slightly and say, and I agree, you went through that and you found those truths.
Yeah, of course.
And you don't have to go through that pain
you don't.
to find those truths.
I just like to learn things the hard way.
I think most people do. Well, they like to continually find the challenge in the hope that they will learn the thing, but don't necessarily do. That's why the repeated situationships become such a thing. If you found yourself in repeated situationships, repeating the same pattern and not learning from it, that's because there's a piece missing.
And chances are it's a piece where you take a stand for yourself. So it's not allowing the emotions to govern. Oh, but like I might miss you, and it might be hard, and like, oh, yes, you are gonna miss that person. Of course, it's gonna be fucking hard. It's already hard. So it doesn't get harder. You just get the opportunity to then integrate why that experience is being called a situationship. And y'all know when you're in situationships, you will vote on our polls, I'm in a situationship. So it's not like you don't have the awareness that, hey, I'm in this thing that's like not really good, but it kind of serves a purpose. But like now I'm struggling to get out of it because I have all these fears and
I'm in it again.
New relationship, same avatar.
And I want to clear up a very fine point that I mentioned earlier. I said that there's a piece missing, and by that I mean that's not there's a piece missing in you, but there's a piece unilluminated. It's not been brought to your conscious awareness, and so your unconscious programming is dictating how you show up in the world and putting you back in these repeated situations that are causing you the pain that you're trying to escape from but not being able to, because you're not taking the time to really align with that intuition and know what it is that you truly desire to be able to navigate the complexities of relating in a way that serves you. And it's it might be a very small piece. You know, we have someone in our program at the moment who's done a lot of personal development work, and yet there's a piece missing. And I say it's something that's hiding in the corner. And like in a yoga posture, a very small adjustment can make a very big difference to the experience that you're having.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. Take it from me.
And
so true.
And so finding what it is that's going to put the intuition fully in alignment so that you can show up fully in integrity, then empowers to not keep dropping into those situationships, if that's what you want.
Yeah, of course.
You might want
some people are addicted to situationships. That's just also true. Some people are addicted to the adrenaline and the experience of the drama, right? Like we can't deny that as well. And when I think about like, okay, you guys are like, okay, situationships, like how do I fix that? You know, one of those things for me is like when you notice, like if I was to ask you, hey, friend, are you single, situationship? If you're the one in our polls, it's like situationship. With that awareness, there's an opportunity to create a different pattern and to create a different path. So that's like step one. It's like when you have the awareness, it's like, hey, I'm in a repeated cycle. It feels like I keep dating the same person over and over again. They're just a different body. What's hurt. That about? Same hurt, inflicting the same pain, making me feel the same ways about myself, not necessarily because of the other person, but because of how you feel in the relationship. These moments of awareness to go, what would the version of me that is in my ideal relationship do? How would he or she or they respond in this environment? And then starting to take actionable steps towards building the strength to take those actions.
Yeah. And I think a really useful tool for that is when you notice, write it down. Write it down, what it is that you're doing compared to what it is you would like to do, and see it.
Right.
So you can consciously choose different. If there's something you're repeatedly doing, it's, it is an addiction in sorts.
Yeah.
It's a repeated pattern. It's something that's being chosen unconsciously until you experience the pain and suffering that brings it into conscious awareness.
Right.
Bring attention to it, and then it might not be straight away that you choose the better option or the healthier option, but over time, it shortens.
Right.
And so a situationship doesn't last 9 months. It lasts 6 months, and then 3 months, and then a week.
And then they're just avoided altogether.
Right, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Even as you're saying that, what's coming to mind is like, if you wrote on a piece of paper what a situationship is, and then you write on the same piece of paper what a relationship is and the qualities of each. That will give you a very clear indicator if you're in a situationship or if you're in actual like healthy, devoted partnership.
I think that's one of the things we're going to be doing in Beyond the Apps.
Yeah.
That's one of the exercises we'll be doing in Beyond the Apps. One of the exercises we do week 5 on our Pillars to Partnership program, where we go through this so that this isn't a repeated cycle.
Getting so crystal clear on what it is that you want, what your needs are, and actually being in the practice of how to ask for them and take a stand for them, which includes boundaries.
And intuition. I would love for you to just speak into like the value of intuition is not just your mind, but your body also being a yes.
Yeah, being attuned to the signs and signals of your body. And for some people out there, I completely understand that that's really challenging. If you're not connected to your body, if you felt a lot of time disembodied or numb, for safety reasons or other reasons, then picking up on those signs and signals can feel challenging at first. And what that just means is that there's a time and a space and a pace with which you can start to explore, what are the signals that my body is sending me? What are the messages that I'm receiving from my body? Am I sighing like that a lot? Probably an internal cue that your body is tired, that it needs rest, that it needs recovery. And these are things that we also cover in Pillars to Partnership through the Sensual Magic Masterclass, and building emotional resilience, emotional mastery is like becoming so attuned to your body that when you get that gut feeling, you don't suppress it and go, oh yeah, but I'm like, he's so hot.
Right.
You know, it's
when you're in that situation and your body is screaming no at you, but you're going, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to listen to
my mind
or my sex.
Or my sex.
And just completely overlook that this person is totally not what I truly desire because it's going to satisfy a short-term need.
Our mind can be deceptive. Our sex can also be deceptive. The body is like the true truth teller when you can understand how to read it. This isn't totally true because if you have trauma, then it kind of tries to deceive you sometimes.
And
if you
have the unconscious programming that tells you one thing but is actually coming from a place of fear and separation, then that requires reprogramming.
This is why, honestly, how you can fix it is with awareness. Like step one, how you can fix it is just having awareness, noticing your patterns, noticing how you choose to respond in certain environments, noticing what fears or stories get activated. And when you start with that and you really get that on paper and you start to look at what's happening, what's actually happening versus this is bullshit. Okay, that's a lie. There's not a scarcity of love. There's 8.6 billion people in the world. I think I'm fine when it comes to choices. Okay, great. I can cross that off. That's bullshit. Okay, that's something that I'm telling myself. Interesting. I need to explore that. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a truth. Okay, interesting. Right? You start to actually get to pick these stories apart and really discover a lot about yourself.
Yeah. So I think that's the takeaway. Write it down. Speak it out, because when it's stuck in here, it's so mercurial. It's so intangible.
Yeah.
But when you really take the time to write out what's the difference between the last situationship or multiple situationships I found myself in and the true relationship I desire to be in,
that I fantasize about,
that I pray about, then you get to, in real time, see the difference and consciously go, you know what, this is not in alignment, but I'm going to choose it anyway for this reason. Or actually, it's not in alignment, so I'm not going to choose it. I'm going to keep moving forwards and attract what it is I truly desire, because ultimately that's going to be more fulfilling.
And trust me when I tell you, there's one thing to see it cognitively. It's a whole other experience to feel it. When you feel the truth of what it is that you're reading, you go, oh, that right there, that actually doesn't feel good. When I read that back to myself, that does not feel good. That is such a clear indicator that something needs to shift and change. And it's probably going to be your actions.
And that's an invitation. Yeah.
A really beautiful invitation. And if you want to explore that with us, come to Beyond the Apps.
Yeah.
January 11th.
Or
if you're seeing this later, find us.
The Pillars to Partnership program.
Yeah, also.
4 modules. Truth, trust, communication, empathy. All of the foundational pillars of conscious intimacy.
Explored over a 6-month period.
Playfully.
With us. Which is amazing. With you and I.
It's me.
Yeah.
And you. Okay. Sounds good. See you there.